Hi, my name is Preston Letts with Letts Property Management. We're a Chicago-based property management company that specializes in investment property and rental property for owners of investment property and rental property throughout the Chicagoland area. What I want to talk to you about today is how to set your price when it comes to pricing your rentals. Now, this is a question that gets a lot of debate, and there's a lot of individuals that have a lot of opinions about this. However, from my experience in my 13 plus years in managing rental property and dealing with rental and investment property, I found that it really comes down to really three main components that you want to focus on in pricing your rental property. The first thing you want to look at is comps. What are units leasing for that are comparable to yours in your area? Now, if you're an individual owner, if you're, this is somebody that, is doing this on your own, this is going to be a little bit of a challenge. And the reason why is how do you find and where do you find this information? You could go to the internet, go online, go to Craigslist, and you can try to find and search for units that are comparable and try to get a feel for that. You could pick up the newspaper and call through help wanted ads to find that information. With that, whatever the source and way you do it is find those comps. Get an understanding of what is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath apartment house leasing for in my particular area. All right, so start with the comps. Get a feel for the comps. Now, some of the challenge with the comps is really it's going to come down to the information that you're going to get as a result of that. Now, one of the big pieces that we talk about from a comp standpoint is, are you comparing apples to apples? Are you comparing apples to oranges? Now, you may say, well, Preston, what do you mean by that? Well, the next piece that's really going to come into that and making sure that you're comparing an apples to apples is going to be the condition and size of the property. If I'm comparing a very small 2-bedroom, 1-bath house or 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment with a very large 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment or house, and the condition of the two with that are night and day difference. One's outdated versus the other one has recent upgrades. Well, those are things that are going to play into the valuation and the pricing of your unit. So those are some pieces. Now, if I'm dealing with a really good size unit and it's I know my comps, and my unit's really good size and it's got some really nice finishings, well, yes, I'm going to push the price on that a little bit. However, if I see that I've got an outdated unit or I've got some concerns on the size of the unit, well, what do I need to do? I need to look at my comps, get a range for where those comps are falling in, and I need to price myself on the lower end of that. We find day in and day out that the key and the true keys to rental property really come down to, number one, getting that price right. Getting it down to really making sure that you're pricing your units with the absolute right price. With that, if you've got a good product, or we say a property's in really good condition and you're getting good advertising, that unit should lease absolutely no problem. However, the key to that, again, is the pricing has got to come first. Now, we talked a little bit about this, and I just want to make sure I finish on this note, is again, location is absolutely the key to all of real estate. So with that, as you're looking at your comps and you're trying to understand, make sure you take into account the location within an area and the location within a neighborhood. Taking it into account, what's around there. Is it a property that's located in an area where there's it's right next to a lot of schools and parks and shopping and things like that, or is it maybe located outside of town in an area that's maybe not so good and a little bit run down? So you absolutely have to take into account that location. Again, you have to really look at all three components when you're pricing your units, because if you just look at one aspect, well, what you could do is you could put yourself in a situation where you've overpriced or underpriced your property. And for that, again, overpriced property, it's going to sit on the market for some time. You're going to lose out on the potential rent versus, and the same thing with an underpriced property. It might rent quickly. However, you could be losing 100, 200, maybe even more on a monthly basis. So really focus on those three main components when it comes to pricing rental property. Know your comps.
know your condition, and know your location, and know how to really fit all three of those together. Once again, my name is Preston Letts with Letts Property Management. If you have any more questions or you'd like to talk further about this, please feel free to give us a call. Thank you.